you say it to communicate, and I communicate that very often. Like, if you do not like oral, we will not make it. Like, I'm just telling you, I don't know what else there is to say about that. Like, I'm being just very direct.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Today I've got my co-host, Amy. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh my goodness. You know, Valentine's Day can be a worse nightmare when you're dating multiple people.
V-Day. Yeah.
How do you handle it? How do you handle
you start
Valentine's
out in the
Day?
morning and you just pound it out the rest of the day.
Now, I was pretty
Flowers.
proud of myself. Last year, I went on 4 Valentine's dates.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
Oh, it was a logistical nightmare, but I pulled it off, and I was so proud of myself.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
How are you doing this year?
I've gone on 0 Valentine dates.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know.
What about Cutie Patootie, the one that I like?
Yeah.
What about her?
Yeah, I know. I need to message her this morning. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I'm such a typical male.
Yeah, no worries. I haven't messaged anyone. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I've got some messages from some people I've met a while back that I haven't heard from in a long time. You know, just a little meme or something. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that means anything? Are they?
Do you want it to mean something?
I don't know. Like, just out of the blue, I get this from somebody I haven't heard from in 6 months or a year. Makes me wonder.
I mean, I don't message people unless there's something. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe message them back and be like, hey, spark something. They're trying to spark something, I guess.
Yeah. All right, moving on. I did get a interesting message in the inbox and the mailbag this week.
What is that?
I wanted to go over it with you. It says, hi, Marcus. I love your podcast, but love your voice more.
Oh.
Hey, I did not pay anyone to write this. This came anonymously.
Yeah, okay.
Says, anyway, I got curious about the site and joined, so I love hearing the podcast and getting tips. I've been divorced for 3 years after being married for 12 and got tired of wasting my time after my divorce. Just wanted to say hi and tell you guys I love listening to you guys while I work. Can't get much work done, though, but can transport to a whole different world when I hear you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Look at your cheeks. You're so blushy.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. I think she gave me her last name, but I won't put that on there. But we appreciate Carrie writing in. Yeah, we're getting a lot of interesting mail.
So can I send you? My profile on there has changed. Mm-hmm. What do you think of it?
I looked at it.
It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, you can tell me to change it.
See.
Anyways, so I've gotten a lot of messages on there.
Yeah, you've sent me some screenshots.
Yes.
And I think we should read the one about the couple.
Yes.
That message was really interesting.
I love that one. Yeah, that one.
Because they did not like you.
No, they did not.
They did not like you at all.
No, they did not.
But they kind of like you now.
They like. I had to actually put on my profile, I had to actually put on there. I had to color coordinate. I had to be like, if you want to talk about the podcast, say this color. If you want to talk about an arrangement, say this color.
Has anybody done that?
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, so people keep requesting. They're like, I want to see your pictures. I want to see. I'm like, I am not showing you my pictures. I was like, I mean, it just doesn't. I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not showing you my pictures. No. So quit asking, and actually send something. Okay. Let me pull this up. But they, everyone's really nice. I will say I'm getting a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I just listened to it. It's awesome. They love you. They really, really like you.
So Amy changed her profile and is actually talking about the podcast in her profile and actually admits that she is a part of it as a co-host. So people get a little confused from her profile now. They don't know what she's looking for. And they think she's peddling the show, which you kind of are.
Kind of.
But then, they don't know if you're looking for an actual arrangement.
Yeah, which makes it hard.
Which is confusing to them. But then once they
get to know me,
kind of go through the process.
Okay, So this was a couple. They're a younger couple, been married for a minute, but so this is what they said. So they request to view my pictures, and I was like, I think I'd let them know, like, hey, sorry, I don't share my pictures unless I think it's actually going somewhere. And I'm pretty sure this is the wife talking, right? And she's like, so I was a little pissed when I first saw your profile pimping your podcast. Seemed more like the purpose of your profile was to advertise your podcast and not that you were genuine. I assumed that you were the host, and I was extra pissed that you said that you as an SB would name it Secrets of a Sugar Daddy just to trick people even more.
I thought that was an interesting statement that she said, that she thought you named it like that to trick people.
To trick people, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So she's like, so I looked it up and listened to a couple episodes. And then and she's like, okay, so you guys have completely won me over and you seem great, not pissed at all, and would totally love to meet you if you're currently seeking. Here's the story. And then they go into their story. But I thought it was just really cool. She was like, I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I think I messaged her back and I was like, I think it's really great. Like, thank you for actually taking the time to listen to it, because you'll see that we're really not like that. Now, there is a guy I've been talking to, I don't know, off and on. Mm-hmm. He actually tried setting up a date at the Phoenix Open, and he got stood up.
What, he met somebody on SA, or he was going to meet somebody at SA?
Yeah, and he got her, you have to buy tickets for that.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah, and they range anywhere from general admission to $400 to $500 for the whole 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can get very expensive. Yeah.
Really? Okay, so I'm not sure which one he did, but yeah, he got. I feel so bad for him, but yeah, he said that. So he had messaged her the day before. They'd been messaging nonstop. So now he is very cautious as well. I feel bad for people like that. I mean, when guys invite you to someplace really nice like that, and I've never been to the Phoenix Open or the Barrett Jackson. Was invited a lot to it, but I've never gone. Mm-hmm. Those tickets are not cheap. Don't stand them up. If you have a date like that, don't go out the night before and get shit-faced.
Well, that's, what, man, that's a silly thing to do, though. I mean, that's an event for a first date. You've got to meet or at least talk on the phone or something.
So, Marcus, I think what we need to address is men's egos. I think if you want to get down to it, I will say I get invited to a lot of different events.
As a first date, though?
They want me to dress up. They just want arm candy. That's all they want. They just want a girl to show off, and they want to try to flaunt their money and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but there's so many girls on there that don't look like their pictures and that they are really rough in person, and maybe you don't want to flaunt them.
Well, I think perhaps the unseasoned people who don't know what they're doing, right? That's why we're making this podcast, is so guys learn from that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, and if you haven't been in many arrangements, or if you've been in a few arrangements and you've never had a bad experience, how do you know? You're not going to know that. You're just going to think oh, everyone is genuine. Because I will say, before I moved to Arizona, I really did not run into the problems that I've ran into before. I mean, I was on the site for less than a week, found my people, bada bing, bada boom. I mean, it was just, I never really had to struggle. Yes, the first 1 or 2 dates. I mean, it was a month, I think, my very first time. And the first date I went on that day. I knew nothing was going to happen. I didn't want it to. I actually had a date set up with the people that I ended up getting an arrangement with, and the husband and wife. And I set up that date with that guy to get my butterflies out, to just see what it was like. I knew nothing was going to happen. I was not attracted to him, was not into him. The only thing that I was into him about is we were in the same line of business. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, we could at least talk about something if it's a horrible conversation. So I can direct that conversation any way I want, right? So that's why I did that. But other than that, I honestly, it wasn't until I moved to Arizona that I ran into problems. But that's just because I think it's geographically it's different.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
I think it's going to be the same no matter what part of the country you're
I
in.
literally came from the East Coast
But
to here.
dating is dating, whether you're doing it in North Dakota or Texas or California.
I've dated in all those states, and I'm telling you, I think it's different.
Yeah.
I think it's different everywhere you go. I think it all depends on. I think what also it depends on is, for me, like things changed, right? So obviously we talked about that, but I think it's different everywhere.
Yeah.
And men here tend to be more. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it nicely. Men here are what's a word?
I don't know where you're going with it.
They're sluts.
How can I come up with a word?
They're little sluts.
Oh, you think it's just here?
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's just here.
That's pretty naive.
I don't think it's just here. I think that men here you've seen the girls that walk around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing nothing. So I don't know. I think it's different. Whereas when you're on the East Coast and you're like, you have to be somebody. Like you'd better have shit going for you, and you're not gonna mess around. You know what I mean? Like you can't. If you want to be serious, like with a girl and find a girl that's serious, then, the girl herself has to have stuff going for herself. Like she needs to have her shit together, basically. And then he'd better have his shit together because they're not going to waste your time.
All right. Well, we'll
put a pin in that.
To disagree on that one.
Yeah. Well, you can delete that. So.
No, I'm not. We're keeping it.
No.
All right. So I've got some other feedback.
Yeah. From
kind of interesting. I get a lot of feedback actually on Instagram. I'd love for you guys to follow us there at Secrets of a Sugar Daddy on Instagram, and you can message us there. I get those really quick too. A lot of times I'll even respond fairly quickly. They just bing my phone and I look down and I have a message. So if you want a direct line to me, go to Instagram and message me there. But it says, we got one from Tina. Yeah, she says, I'm a huge fan. It was episode 9 that got me. I was married. Episode 9 is where we introduced Angie.
Oh.
She told her story, and that's when you guys met.
Oh.
So that was such a good episode. That's actually one of my favorite episodes that we've done so far. It's a good introductory episode because it kind of talks about her 20-year marriage and then what the last couple of years has been like for her in the dating world and what she's discovered and still discovers.
Yeah, she's got really amazing.
Yeah.
Angie's really awesome.
Yeah. So she says, I was married to a preacher for 13 years, and I have the same story as the lady on there. I go, yeah, thanks for the message. Episode 9 is amazing, and Angie has become a regular on the show ever since. And she says, have you done an episode that what separates the sugar babies from the prostitution? I know it's not the same, but they are walking the line. I would just like to know how to explain it properly. I'm on episode 10 now. I'm hooked. And we talk about that quite a bit. Actually, she hasn't even got to the episodes that we really dive in a lot deeper on that, but
right, we
do expand on that
actually
a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it, but I guess, have we talked about how, like, I think when she says she's trying to explain it, like, who's she trying to explain it to?
Well, a lot of people, there's a stigma about being a sugar baby. And then, people will say, oh, well, that's just code for prostitution.
Right.
But it's not.
No, like you're actually dating a guy. You should, I think, well, like, and a lot of people are like the PPM. Mm-hmm. Never mind. I think PPM is kind of prostitution, but that's.
Well, it has to kind of start out that way, though. You just don't know enough about that person. How many times have you been on a date with people, 2 or 3 dates, and then by the 4th one, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work?
Well, the majority of the time, I don't do anything with anyone by. Mm-hmm. I usually wait 3 or 4 dates before I do anything with them.
My assistant had a real interesting story. She went out. She was dating this engineer, and he was very nice and treated her really well and helped her out financially first 2 days. And she was just like, this guy is so sweet. He's so nice. And he's going to take me shopping this weekend. And she was all excited to go shopping because she needed some new clothes. And it was an absolute nightmare what happened, because he took her to an outlet mall
Okay.
which is fine. But I guess let's start from the beginning. So she gets there. He's all flustered. He has like a really nice Corvette in his garage, like one of the newer ones, but he's never drives it. So he gets in and it's got a low tire and he's just frantic about it. And he's like, I got to air this up. And it just was flustering him so bad, right? So they go to air it up and she says he put gloves on to air up his tire. Big turnoff for her. And I would imagine that would be a big turnoff for most women. Like, dude, be a man. Like, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. To air up your tire?
I guess, I don't know. So when you're like on a racetrack, they wear gloves.
Well, this is out of your garage. Your tire is low.
And when you're like, sometimes if you go to mechanic shops, they wear gloves.
Come on, play with me here.
Okay.
Have you ever you've seen me air up tires, my trailers and my vehicles and cars. Have I ever pulled out a pair of gloves to keep my hands from getting dirty?
Let's see your hands.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just teasing. No, I'm just teasing. I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
Right.
Okay. So that is not masculine.
Yeah.
And she wants like the dirty. She's like, get dirty.
Well,
for
no,
me.
but it just was,
Just rub your
it was
hand
just
on
a
my
little too feminine.
tire.
Like it was just not a manly thing to do to put on gloves to air up your tire.
So maybe if it's a new car, maybe like he thinks that his hands are going to get dirty and then he's going to have to.
Yeah. Anyway,
get back
okay,
in the
we'll
car.
give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Like
That's something.
we'll give him the
okay.
benefit of the doubt.
All
But
right,
then she
all right.
says that after he was so flustered, so then he grabs the steering wheel at 10 and 2 with his elbows locked and just staring down the road like a death grip on this car.
Oh, he's never
Like,
had that.
yeah.
He's never driven one. He's
So
nervous.
he's scared to drive his own car. So then she's like she's looking over at him going, what is wrong with this guy, right? Yeah. And the conversation wasn't going very well. And so he took her to an outlet mall and they went into this kind of a cheap store. She said it kind of was like, it had, what was it called? Anyway, it had a kind of a fancy name, but when they walked in, it was like a Ross or a Marshall's or something, like clothes just everywhere, just like a discount store. So she's like, really? This is not her idea of going shopping for some cute clothes. So with, somebody that's a sugar daddy that has some money.
Or does he actually have some money?
No, she's went to his house. It's very nice. It's beautiful. She showed me pictures. He has a brand new Corvette. I mean, yeah, he has money.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have the social skills. He doesn't have the dating skills.
So he's an engineer.
He's an engineer, yeah.
Yeah.
So they go and
not that all engineers are like that.
Anyway, he suggests like there was some knit
Sweater dresses?
Sweater dress, yeah, it was like a sweater dress. So she did find one that she liked. So she got it. It was fairly cheap. And then he just like, okay. And then they started walking to the car. She's like, I thought we were going to go in some other shops, but he just turned and started walking right to this car.
He must have not wanted. He
She
really
says that
did not.
man did not want to be there at all that day.
He was
so
probably having a bad day, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
So anyway, they go home. So this was in the evening. I think she'd got there about 5 o'clock in the evening. So anyway, they go, I think they went to eat and then they went back to his place. They didn't do anything sexually. Like she did crawl in bed with him and she says, she was really tired, had a long day, and they were like watching a movie or something and she fell asleep. And she woke up at like 2 a.m. and he had put her hand on his dick. They haven't had any sexual relations to this point. Now, what do you do at this point? She was dead asleep.
I'm not sure. What did she do? I'm like, so what did she do?
She's like, he could tell, like I was kind of pissed off, like I wasn't into it. So then she said, he took my hand and then just put it up on his chest. So that's fine. You don't have to, And so how awkward. So then finally.
Yeah, he really is.
Yes.
He has no clue. He's pretty naive, I would say. But that's, so don't do that, gentlemen. Like, don't.
Please. Oh my
So
God.
I've heard of.
So that was the end of that. Like she left and
Yeah.
they're over. They're done. It was just, yeah.
I've heard of similar stories where, I don't even know if I should say this. We might have to delete this because I'm not sure. So, okay, I don't know what to call him, but.
I don't know. Let's make up a name.
Dion.
Dion?
Yeah, Dion. I don't know.
I know.
That's all right. Okay, so Dion. So Dion would tell me stories about like how one girl said she just like flipped out on him. So they had went on like several dates, right? And he was respectful the entire time. And they were like making out. They would always make out, and she'd always just, like stop it, right? And then one time she accused him of him like forcing her to like touch him. Yeah, like that. I don't know. I don't think girls don't do that. Like, don't do that. Men definitely don't force a girl to touch you. Like, I would not. This guy, whoever this engineer guy is, really needs a lesson.
Yeah.
Listen to 3% Man or something.
Well, there's plenty of girls that like guidance, but you got to have some history with them. Like, you can't just...
Not when they're asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
A poor thing.
Right.
But see, I mean, these guys had went on several dates, and I mean, I think she had a screw, like several screws loose, because he was never disrespectful in any way like that. And so it just, I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't know. Girls, I think, at what point would you say, like for you, when is it appropriate to do something with a girl?
When is it what?
Appropriate. Like when is it appropriate? Like if a girl hasn't like given you the green light. So it sounds like to me, your assistant, it doesn't feel like she was giving him any green light, and that's what he was waiting for. And so he like took a chance.
He was just acting really strange. Like,
what do you mean? But
he wanted to give her a full body massage. And so she took off her clothes, and then he did that a little bit. I don't know. He never really made a move. Like, she expected to have sex, like, on their second date. And
really? He just didn't?
And then he just didn't. He wasn't, for some
So would
reason.
you say that it's better if the girl makes the move? Or is it better if you make the move?
Everybody is so different. Every single person that you come in contact with, you act differently around. You have a different vibe, and you do things different. I've been with people where, like, within 10 minutes of meeting them, you're all over each other. And then I've taken a girl out for months and never done anything. So
which one do you like more?
Well, I think being a male, you kind of like the...
But which one tends to last longer?
Well, I don't know if there is any hard and fast rules on that.
You don't think?
Yeah. But I know men get frustrated, though, after a while. Yeah. Because they're feeling it's a lot one-sided, and I think they need a more balanced relationship. What
do you think about a girl that doesn't like to kiss?
Like you?
Yeah, like me. Is that bad? Like, I always feel really guilty. But I'm just like, I can only think, I don't know. I just think about all the germs. I don't know. I don't know what it is about kissing. It's weird. It's weird. You know, like when your teeth, like somebody's like, I don't want to risk a bad kisser. I don't want to risk coming in contact with a bad kisser. And I don't know what it is. It doesn't, like, kissing doesn't do anything for me.
So what happens when guys start trying to kiss you? You just play along? Or do you let the facial expressions speak for themselves?
I don't think sometimes they pay attention to my facial expressions, because if they did, they would see that I'm not like a huge kisser. Like, I don't know what it is. For my family, I grew up like not very affectionate, right? So I'm affectionate in my own weird ways, right? And so for me, kissing isn't one. And I understand that's very intimate, and I don't mind doing it a little bit. I cannot, though, make out. You know how some people just love to make out?
Like I said, different people bring out different things of you. Like, there'll be times that I have no desire to kiss a person. Right. And then there's other times we're kissing a lot. And it's just it's a different person.
So it's the same no,
it's a different person. Yeah.
So I've never had that, though, with anybody.
Really?
Like, even my ex-fiance, like, I mean, him and I, we hardly ever, like, kissed. Like, he would kiss me. I don't mind him, like, kissing me, but the making out stuff, like, nada. Nuh-uh. No, that's an instant, like, almost shut off.
Yeah.
Like, things go dry very quickly. Yeah. Like, I just don't like it. No, I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
So do you communicate that, though? I think it's important.
I don't know how, because I'm afraid that they're going to take it the wrong way. I'm not kidding you. Even so, when I was dating Alejandro, one of the problems that him and I had, and now just in case people don't know who this person is, this is a guy that a younger guy that I dated that was not a sugar daddy.
No, you met him on Hinge, I think.
Hinge, yeah. And we were just like, I mean, we're friends now, but we're not anything. And one of the problems that he had was he would always tell me, he was like, why don't you like to kiss me? He was like, you're a very good kisser. Like, I don't understand. I said, I'm sorry, but there's something, I just don't like it. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. Like, if you want to kiss something, kiss me down south. Like that, I don't mind. Right. Practice, pretend that's my tongue. I don't know. Like, do something. Do that, but not mouth to mouth. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. Even like, I think if I were to bring a toothbrush and brush your teeth for 5 minutes, mouthwash that, put a stick of gum in. Like, I don't know. No, I'm teasing, but in all honesty, no, I'm not. Like, I don't know what it is. I really don't like kissing. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. So what's one of your weird quirks that you just don't like that girls do? Now, see, we're getting on weird stuff.
Well, the thing is, it's different with every person. Like, some girls I'm very huggy, touchy with, and then others I don't feel like being huggy, touchy at all.
We weren't really huggy, touchy.
No, right. Yeah. I don't know why. You just kind of didn't have that vibe.
Well, I'm not like that with anyone.
Right. And I could tell.
Yeah. But maybe that's my problem, honestly. I think that's maybe why, maybe I'm not affectionate enough.
People come in all variations. Yeah.
So with that, like, how
levels.
would you say, because you're the God of all answers to this. How do you deal with, okay, so somebody who's not affectionate, like myself, right? Because you had a girl that was like, hey, I mean, she was very straightforward with you. And she was like, I just want to come in. Like, let's have fun, go out, do our thing. And she didn't want to hang out. Remember? You were telling me about that? She was like, yeah, I didn't want to hang out. And it's not that I want to like hit it and quit it. I don't want that. I just, like, does one, like, I guess if you're not a very like affectionate, like clingy type, see, and that's the problem. I'm not sure if there's something wrong with me, because maybe I'm just that insensitive. I don't think I'm insensitive, but I don't know what other word to use. How do I do that with people who obviously seem to be very, like, if I find somebody
it's a tricky thing, because I'll have somebody who loves to cuddle, and they'll just snuggle up to you, and they're just cuddling, and they're all over you, and after a while, I just can't take it, because
like, how many minutes?
Like all night.
So what's your cuddle time?
Not very long. Maybe like watching a movie or something, but I have to move around. Like, if I'm sleeping, I toss and I turn, and I got to get up, go to the restroom or whatever. And this is one thing why, when I was married, my ex-wife wasn't a cuddler, but we had 2 dogs that just laid on you, right, while you're sleeping. And I always started feeling guilty when I had to move, because I'd wake up the dogs. So when she was a nurse and then she had to get up early, she would ask me to go sleep in the other room, and I loved it. I loved sleeping in that bed all by myself. I didn't have to worry about dogs. I didn't have to worry about her. I didn't have to worry about snoring. That's another thing, too. I get worried that I'm snoring or making weird noises while I sleep, and that's why I like to sleep alone.
I'm right
for
there
the
with
most part.
I love,
right?
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that.
So when somebody's all cuddled up to you all night, and let's say that you're both naked or whatever, and it gets hot and sweaty and sticky, it's
like, get off of
me. But I've met people who love to do that. They just absolutely, that is their thing. They love to cuddle and be next to you. And then other people are like, all right, well, it was fun. I'm going to go home, sleep in my own bed by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like right there with, okay, we'll see you later.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely like that. Because I have 2 dogs, and I would say that's my thing. Like, I don't mind. I like to sleep with my dogs. I don't like to sleep with other people. Even my ex, like, he was always on me. He was always on me. He would literally lay on top of me. And I was just like, oh my God.
Your ex-fiance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd lay on top of me, and
very uncomfortable, isn't it?
Well, Fudge, I mean, he was a Olympic wrestler. So yeah, a little bit uncomfortable, but I don't know. He had this thing. So,
Right.
but that's what he liked. And I don't know. So, but that's actually, we'll have to get into that later because I have several questions that I need to address actually, because I'm not sure.
About what?
Just about, like, I want to get into like the more dating, what is acceptable? Like, how do you deal with this? If you're this way, how do you, like compatibility a little bit? I understand you're compatible on different levels and that's great. But at what point does it make it or break it? Compatibility.
I think communication is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, I agree. But
We're always so afraid of offending people.
Yeah.
I'm the worst at that too.
Yeah.
Like
I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. Like if I can't get you off orally, I promise we're not going to last long. I can tell you that right now.
And do you communicate that?
I do. I do very much. I was like,
That puts a lot of pressure on them.
Well, it doesn't. Like you say it to communicate, and I communicate that very often. Like if you do not like oral, we will not make it. Like I'm just telling you, I don't know what else there is to say about that. Like I'm being just very direct. Like I don't know. It's my favorite thing. It's literally one of my favorite things.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise sex is just, it's
So what happens when,
a stick going in a hole.
because
That's all it is.
there's certain girls who will not do that.
Yeah.
And then there's girls who that's all they like to do. So how do you communicate to them if that's what you really like?
So guys, I never get guys who tell me. Like guys are so afraid to tell me what they like. And I really wish that they wouldn't do that. I really wish that they would tell me, just because I think they're so afraid of rejection just as much as we are, right? We're afraid of being told, like if we start talking about the arrangement, about what we want, we're afraid of that rejection.
Yeah.
The same goes probably vice versa for the guy when he wants to bring up things that make him happy. Like I can tell you right now, it takes very, very, very few men in my life have ever willingly just told me what they wanted and what they like. I have to like drag it out of them, or I have to slowly like peel back the layers.
Well, I've been asked that too, and it's
it's kind of hard to be put on the spot like that.
Yeah, it is, because you don't want to sound like a freak. When somebody's like, well, what are the things you like? Well, I like to tie you up and spank your ass. How do you even start that conversation, right? I had a really funny thing happen. It wasn't so funny, but years ago I met this. She was a model, and we're in her apartment, and she's like, so what do you like sexually? I'm like, well, I mean, what guy doesn't like a good blowjob? And she's like, yeah, that's not happening.
Oh, God.
I don't do that.
Kill. Yeah, no.
I'm like, well, fuck, why is she...
Yeah, no, that would suck. Yeah.
And that pretty much was the last time I saw her, because it just kind of ruined the whole thing. It was
I think for me, I don't really tell a lot of people that I was a professional dominatrix. I don't tell a lot of people that, just because they'll want to get out honestly, that's all they'll want to do. And they'll just think that that's who I still am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a phase in my life, just like you switching jobs. Like, it's just a phase in my life. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I will do it. But I promise you, if I end up, like my rule, and I've experimented with this, if I tell you that I was a dominatrix, and if you tell me that you want me to dom you, I will. I promise you, I will lose 100% respect for you.
Really?
Like the dynamic changes when I'm like in a sugar baby relationship. I like to be submissive. I don't want to be dominant. I want to be like taken care of. I have so much shit going on in my life where I'm constantly like, I'm in charge of many groups, like through my school. I have God knows how many like different projects, like 8 or 9 different projects that I'm in charge of. I want to just be taken care of, and I don't want to have to think about shit. And I don't want to have to sit here and like be over somebody. I want to be under somebody. I don't want that, right? And so I will lose respect for you because I will never treat you the same. And it is a very different dynamic for me. I'm a very different person. When that girl comes, and you've experienced it, it takes me like a whole day. It takes me sometimes a day to 2 days to get out of that mindset because it's very dominant and it's kind of bitchy. Like it's not, you're not gonna, like, I don't care what you say. Like I'm going to do what I want to do, you know, at that point. So.
Well, as usual, we get Amy all fired up at the end of the show.
Yeah.
It always goes so quick and you get fired up at the end.
I know. I had a physics exam this morning, so it's kind of a lot.
Well, thanks for joining us today on this episode. Hey, follow us on Instagram and then also go to our website. Let us know what you want to hear on the show. We love the feedback. Even if you want to be on the show, go to secretsofasugardaddy.com. And until next episode, bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.